My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Cole Ross.
And you're listening to Real Lich Hours, the Baldur's Gate 3 podcast with art by Jaden Dale and music by Gwen Static.
In this episode, we finally get to Baldur's Gate, kind of. We're in the suburbs. We're in Rivington.
Yeah, we get to Gresham. Yeah. We elocute about elementals in part 2 of our elemental series in combat and tactics.
Yeah, we talk about Cyric in Deities and Demigods.
Gang up on Dopplegangers in the Fiend Folio.
Dig through some mail in the Legends and Lore.
And finally, salute Commander Lightfeather and very, very good little kitty grub in Find Familiar.
And finally, we read one of your comments in the forum.
Yeah, that's the finally.
Finally.
We're back to having animals and shit.
Yeah.
There are things in the game now to talk about for the back half of this podcast, which there weren't for a little bit, or it was a little bit more difficult.
Not much was alive around Wraithwin and such.
Yes, but now we're eating good.
Yeah.
So we made it. We've done the kind of cutscene transitional battle into Act 3, and now we're in Act 3 proper, checking this out. Couple little notes. As we kind of get into the city, one, just something that popped into my playthrough, don't let Scratch and the owl bear cub see you pickpocket withers. They go aggressive. They don't like it for some reason. I don't think an animal could understand what a pickpocket is.
No.
That feels advanced.
A little bit.
Yeah, but they will go aggressive, and there's nothing to do but knock them out. You got to give your pets a timeout.
By timeout, do you mean just like a
pummel to the head,
a blunt force nap? A
blunt force nap. Sandman has to come and give them a timeout for interfering with Daddy's business. Daddy puts his hands in whatever pockets he wants.
Yeah. I have another minor one before we get to the big one here. But on our way in, the Emperor starts speaking to us in his true voice now. There's no more need for the disguise. So we're getting the booming Mind Flayer voice in our heads.
Finally. Turn to somebody's crank, as we'll find out. Secondly, just this is kind of a general thing all through Act 3. I want to talk about how this game makes a city feel populated. And kind of just how games do that in general. That is a thing that is hard for games, I find, largely due to memory constraints.
Yes.
Famously, you'd play a Final Fantasy on an NES and there'd be 6 people who live in town, outside of shopkeepers, and it didn't feel like a city. It was this kind of abstract expression of a city. As games kind of moved on, you would get things that felt closer to it. And I think that the way that Baldur's Gate 3 does it is pretty good. We get a lot of just citizens who are milling about their scenery. They can't do anything except for die to AoEs. But then there are a bunch of random citizens with names, and they're not important. It's not like Planescape Torment where anybody with a name has a story, because there are more of them. It's more they will be talking to another person, and it illustrates something about the city.
Yes.
They'll give you the same, the king lives in the castle. I'm just going to say the one line on repeat over and over, but it'll be something that the characters would be concerned with and helps you kind of get a pulse for it. So in addition to just having a population that makes it feel filled up, you also kind of get ambient information through text floats and chatting with not quite randos. And they really went wild with the naming conventions on a lot of these people that are not important as well.
They're really going off the hook with some of them. Yeah. I enjoy this effect here. Sometimes it is a little bit it is a little bit tiresome looking at the crowd up and down the street trying to see which ones you want to interact with. And just scouring to make sure that I wasn't missing any quests. Required a little bit more effort than it did in the